Hi, Yana.
Hello, David. How are you?
Very well. Appreciate your
Long time
feedback
no
on
see you.
that.
How
Yeah,
have you
Okay.
been?
good.
Oh.
Welcome,
How did
everybody.
it go with the splashes? It was fun.
Good. Great.
Um,
I think Don's here.
Hi,
Don.
Sandra.
Hi, everybody. How are you?
Good.
Great.
Don. Oh, hi, Don.
Get to the right class here. Get up our.
oh, Don. Hello.
Hi, Giannis.
Well, I hope everybody's enjoying the first week of the class here. It's
No, just fine. All right,
Great.
thank you very much.
Hi, Don.
how are you?
I'm good. I have a quick question before we start. I tried to look at the assignment number 2.
Mm-hmm.
It required a password and it didn't let me in. Is that
Nope,
because?
nope. It goes live right after this show.
Okay, that's what I wanted to.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
That's it. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. How are you doing?
I'm okay. I made a
Good.
disaster, but I'm okay.
Very good. All right, let's get going here. I think it looks like Rick Metkowski here. You know, while we're letting people come in, let me just ask if there's any questions. If you have any questions, before we just jump into it. Anybody here have any questions about shooting this kind of stuff? Or questions about gear or anything like that that I can answer? Okay.
I didn't do the assignment yet because first of all, my husband is retiring. So we had a lot of conferences and meetings about that. So that's very exciting. And then also I just, I wanted to just kind of review this. The logistics of the water and such, or the liquids, is something that I'm very interested in learning and seeing how everybody did. I've done some water drop photography with computer activation and such, but I've never gone quite to this extent. So I'm basically here to learn and don't have enough questions at this point to ask.
Okay. That sounds good. We gotta find.
Hey, Don.
Yes.
Yeah, this is Kevin. Hey, I just got my second COVID shot. I'm on my way home. I'll be home in 5 minutes and I'll log in on my computer. But
Okay.
I'm driving, so I mute myself so I don't disrupt the class.
Not a problem.
Okay.
Hey, Don, just to step in, I also didn't complete the assignment. My house, I recently moved and I have professional organizers coming in on Tuesday who are going to
Wow.
professionally organize my place so I can work. So I'll be doing, I'll be starting then.
Okay. That sounds great.
So can I turn in assignment 1?
No, if just
or just start with the 2?
Start with number 2, so we're all on the same track. Otherwise,
Okay.
there's everything has a different set of parameters to do it.
Okay.
But you can certainly add it to the Facebook page, tag me, and I can see it that way.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Yep. I will say this, and I'm having a hard time finding where Judy has it. But when I ran this class before, a photographer named Judy Doherty took the class, and when we get to the putting the ink and stuff in water, she did that. Her picture was chosen as the top image at an international art sort of contest / gallery. You entered your art, and then if it was chosen as one of the 50 pieces, then they printed it and put it in the gallery. So not only was hers chosen number 1, it also sold for $7,700. So
Wow.
From this class, it was a class assignment. So
wow.
that gives you, yeah.
I
God, it
see
sounds
her
like she does
ads
fine.
everywhere now. Everywhere, every page, her ads show up.
Yeah, I sent her an email. I want to find out who's doing that. If she's doing that, or yeah, I'm seeing the same thing. If she's doing that, or if it's a consortium that she belongs to is doing it. We'll see.
Mm.
But yeah, Judy's really great. Great photographer. She's also a new photographer. I started working with Judy one-on-one in 2019. In October of 2019, she was an Uber Eats driver, Uber Eats photographer, shooting for fast food.
Oh.
And she's come a long way. All right, is Rick here? Rick Matkowski, are you here, sir? The thing about doing
I am.
You are, okay, good. Because I was gonna say this to everyone as well. The thing about reviewing these images, folks, is if you're not here to discuss them, it's really hard for me to review them other than nice shot or I like the color or something like that. So the fact that you're here is great. All
Hey,
right,
Don?
Rick. Yeah.
Don, are you recording this?
I believe it should be recording. Is it not recording?
It's recording.
Showing it is on my screen.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So why did my tools disappear? Oh, that's why. Got it. All right. Okay. So I think we got 25 people here. We got 50 images in the folder. Seems to come out that we have everybody here. All right, Rick, tell us what you did here.
Pretty simple. I did it a few different ways. One was kind of a pour, but this I was trying something different. This uses water-filled balloons
Okay.
to provide the water. And so, yeah, you can see the splash on the table, the water near the top lip of the glass, and then another chunk of water coming down.
Yeah.
So I was having some fun here. I thought I'd try something a little different. And so, like I say, it's a hung balloon, sharp pin, and let it rip.
All right. And if there's balloon left over here in the picture, you just touch it out?
Well, actually balloon didn't enter the scene, maybe at the top a little bit, but as far as remnants, no.
Okay.
I did have a piece of paper marking the glass on the back side, and when that water hit, the little piece of tape became part of the scene, so I had to take that out.
Okay. Very nice, man. Looks good. Looks good. Let's look at your behind the scenes shot here, which I think is before this. So here's the balloon. So you're lighting it from both sides.
Yeah. And a speed light behind that scrim.
Behind the scrim. And that scrim is how far from the table?
I could walk back there, so I say separation is 2.5, 3 feet.
Okay.
And effectively that, you can play with that distance. I'm using, Studio Black instead of black cards, right? Just working with that distance dictates how much black you're getting into the glass.
Sure.
On the edges.
Yeah. You're just getting naked studio on the edges. That's what's giving you your fill here. Yep.
What does he mean by studio black?
Means the light, all the light is right here. This part of the studio back here, there's no light on it. So it just goes absolutely black.
Oh, so that's when you set your settings to where if you take a photo, then it's all black, no matter what kind of light is in. Is that what he means?
Well, what's happening? So this shot here is what do you probably like 11 f11.
F13, I think I was on.
13, and you probably at your high sync speed, 200th of a second.
Yeah.
So it's F13 at a 200th of a second. If these lights weren't on, nothing would record on the film.
Oh, okay.
The room is too dark. It's pitch.
I do tend to shut the lights off, but even if they were left on, your image is still black.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And who was that asked the question?
Veronica.
Veronica, this is a great question. In the studio, before you make the shot, do a picture with your flashes off at the same exposure you're going to do with flash on, and you will find if you have any ambient light coming into your picture. So after everything's set up, unplug your flash or turn the flash off, take a shot. If the picture doesn't come back pure black, then you've got some ambient light. You're going to have to turn off the lights in your room or pull the drapes or something. If it comes back full black, you're good. You're good to go. Then you know that all of the light is being produced by the strobes.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Something that, well, I did on every shot back in the day because we're shooting film. You don't want to get the film back from the lab and find out that the skylight was, adding a highlight to something you didn't see. So.
Yeah, and you do have to be careful because you can leave the lights on, but if you do have an overhead light, and particularly if you have reflective surfaces, you still might get a little hot spot, or you'll see that light in something. So,
or even the slightest bit of exposure of tungsten adds a warmth to the picture that gets built into the picture, and then you're color correcting and you're trying to figure out how your greens got brown. Well, orange and green makes brown. So, all right, very nice, very nice, Rick. The good shot, man.
Yeah, just for fun.
Never thought about the balloon. Good idea. And Kevin, Essie Splash.
I'm here.
Cubes dropped into
Glass of water.
Cool.
Yeah. I don't know if the flash duration on the strobes are quick enough or not, but that's what I've got. So I had the Bowen's 500 watt seconds turned down to the lowest setting, and then I just bumped my ISO up to 1600 and went that way.
Looks pretty good. Looks pretty clean.
Thanks.
Color looks great. Nice clean white. Just a little cold in the white, but that's to go along with the picture.
Yeah. So then just on a piece of black plexiglass, and there you go.
Is your horizon straight?
Well, I thought I straightened it, but it may be a little.
No, it is. No, it is. I got a little ruler on my desktop. Yeah, it's straight. I guess it's just a little bit of a illusion there, maybe for something.
Yeah, it could be.
It looked like it was just a little bit off, but it's dead. It's dead on. So
okay.
Really nice, Kevin. Let's look at your lighting here. So pretty much all coming from the back. You're using black cards. And for whoever asked about Studio Black, if you can't get Studio Black, you've got to get some dark cards. So black cards, otherwise the edge of the glass will go pure white because of the white behind it.
Right. And you can't see it.
And all of a sudden you lose that edge. So we add some darkness. So if we go back to Rick's, that darkness there is the studio that lets the glass stand out from the back. Otherwise the glass will blend with the back. And what happens if you're doing a black background? Well, then you've got to go with something bright on the sides, so you get a lighter edge. Nice shot, really fun shot. How many cubes are dropping? One or two, or
just one?
Okay,
but I started with like 3 cubes in the glass, and I just kept dropping them in.
Okay, so these are the little inexpensive.
Yeah, those are the ones from Michael's. Yeah.
If you want some fake ice cubes, Michael's has a whole bag of them for like $12 or something. It's ridiculous cheap. They are not the kind of ice cubes you would use for a really good liquor shot. Those guys are going to cost you somewhere between $200 and $500 a piece for those fake ice ones. But for iced tea, soda, pretty much anything except Scotch on the rocks, Michael's has them, Amazon has them, Joann's has a different brand that's got a little bit of a different shape to them, and the dollar store. Yes, you heard me. The dollar store has these little cube things too. They're pretty nice. The difference between the cheaper ones and the more expensive ones, the cheaper ones tend to float, and the more expensive ones will not float. They'll actually go right down the bottom. So nicely done, Kevin.
Thank
Beautiful
you.
shot, man. And
Thank
Don, before you go on,
yeah,
so you're saying if I do a studio black setting, I don't have to use black cards?
well, no, I don't want to get into rules like that. That's a rule, and I detest rules. So here's the thing: if you've got your glass here, and you've got your background here, and you've got your white cards for your lighting here, if this part of your studio is uncluttered and is not lit, there's no lighting on it, then yeah, you can use Studio Black. If you want to control the line and make it what you want, now in the case of Rick's, he had a nice line. It was it was a little fat line that ran up the thing. Let's say you wanted that glass to have a very tight, tiny sliver of light. Well, then I would probably put a white card here with a tiny sliver of black on it, so that all that reflected from here was that sliver of black.
Right. Okay.
So you could you can really control it.
Okay.
That just becomes like up to you, so to speak.
Okay. Now, with regard to like the blue in Kevin's photo, is that coming from the pool?
No, that's coming from a filter on the light that's behind the scrim.
It's
and then I got rid of the blue on the face of the scrim and made that white.
Okay.
So he photoshopped this to white. Am I correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
I didn't like the original shots were just white, and I thought the black was too black, and so I threw a filter over the strobe just to give it a little bit of color, and then I stripped out the blue color on the background and just left it on the glass and the water.
Excellent.
Okay, Kevin, thank you.
You're welcome.
Excellent. Good job, Kevin.
Hi.
And by the way, a very important part of every photography studio is the $10 Ace Hardware pool.
That was $12 at Target, but that's
There
okay.
you go. Absolutely. Oh, I see you went high end.
Yeah.
Hi.
Don, just comment on those Michael cubes, ice cubes. I've tried something, and that is to I tried with one, put it in just a cloth, took it out with a hammer out on the street where I had some concrete. And you can bust those up a little bit, so you can take the, because they're pretty regular.
They're very regular. They're just a mold.
So you can bust them up a little bit and put some irregular edges on there, which I think then they sit better in the glass more.
Yeah, someone a year ago told me that they put them in boiling water, and then they could, with a spoon, they could press it in.
Oh,
because they're made out of plastic.
Yeah.
So you get them real hot, and then they become a little malleable, and you can give them more of a cube shape.
Because they're so regular that they stack up like bricks rather than ice cubes.
Yep.
Can I ask Don a question just about the use of these artificial type ice cubes? Why would you use them as opposed to ordinary ice cubes?
Because my ice will melt.
In the time that you're doing the show?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's not consistent. So when you're doing a shot like this, you want it to be as consistent as possible all the way through, because maybe you're doing, and remember, we're doing commercial photography. We're approaching it from commercial photography, not from editorial photography. If it's editorial photography and you're at the you're at the restaurant and they're serving iced tea, you're gonna have to shoot what they give you. You're not gonna take out their ice and put fake ice in. You're gonna have to shoot it, but time frames are much more condensed. We've got to have everything match. So we may have to do 25 drops before we get the one we like. These can't be melting. Otherwise, the shot with the good splash may have the melted cubes. So we really control everything.
Okay, I'm relatively new to all this indoor stuff.
That's fine. And honestly, there are a lot of people who use real ice. If you've practiced your drop, for instance, and you've got your eye-hand coordination done, and you're practicing it with like refrigerator ice, fine. Then get a bag of the good crystal ice from the store, put it in the freezer, take 4 or 5 cubes, put it in here. You'll get a good 5 minutes out of them before they start to, look crummy. Yeah, absolutely. Nothing wrong with that at all.
But it's just easier to use the others because I'm more consistent.
It is, and like like it was said, if they are very uniform, but if you're doing something like soda or iced tea where you really can't see them that much, you can just sort of see that they're there. They work fine. They don't work fine for scotch and soda or liquor on the rocks or anything where the ice cube becomes a dominant feature of the shot. Just doesn't work. The little shaved ice you can get, you can also get it in tiny little shaved pieces. That looks pretty good. Basically, it looks pretty good. It'll make your diet soda look fresh.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, Judy.
Yes. Hi, Don.
Hi. This looks like dark field lighting. Am I right?
Yeah. I can't see it on your screen. I can only see you.
Don, we can't see your screen.
What happened? Did I change it?
Must have stopped sharing.
Oh,
There you
sorry
go.
about that.
Yeah, there it is.
There we go.
Got it now.
Yeah.
So dark field lighting looks really, really nice.
Yeah.
Okay, F9, ISO 200. What strobe are you using?
I'm using 2 speed lights, one on the right and one on the left.
Okay.
And the power was set to 132.
All right. Yeah, that's going to freeze it because that water looks absolutely frozen. Looks like crystal.
It is 2 shots. The main shot is the glass and the stuff coming out of it. And then over to the left where that big splash is, that's the second shot.
Over here?
Yeah, that's the second shot. And a little bit of on the right-hand side, those droplets.
Well, your lighting stays nice and consistent.
Well, I put the camera on burst mode. So there was 6 shots right in a row as I was pouring. So,
Oh, okay.
so.
And your strobe was able to recycle that fast?
Amazingly, by the 6th shot, I was losing the light, but the first 5 were consistent. Yes.
All right. Well, that's great. I've got this Godox speed light that uses a big, I don't know, it looks like it's a huge battery. It's like I don't know what they call those new batteries that everyone's using in stuff now, but it uses those. And on quarter power, I can't, it just recycles, like it'll just go and go and go and go and go.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
It never dies. It's really, really powerful. I don't think I could get 6 bursts out of it, but I bet I could at like a 16th power, I could get bursts.
Yeah.
Really, really great. Great.
Yeah,
little strobe.
132 seemed to work pretty well. So.
Yeah. Nice design. This is a good idea, adding some drops from other shots.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. Solid.
Thank you.
I
I have a question though. I have a question. Actually, it goes back to Rick's photo. I tried using a reflector, do some backlighting and with a grid, but with a 60-degree grid, the honeycomb pattern shows up behind a scrim.
Uh-huh.
Am I not far back enough or what?
That's one thing. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So you're shooting here, you're shooting at, you got an 1855, you're at 55 on a Fuji. So that's about the same as an 85, I think, or somewhere around there. But you're shooting at at 5.6. So you're gonna have some focus on that if you're within the focus realm.
Oh, okay.
So what happens is if you move it back to here, you should be out of focus.
Okay.
If those grid marks are very, very noticeable, then they still may get picked up. So you might want to take why did you have a grid on it?
I wasn't on this one. It was another shot. I was trying to do some backlighting and it just wasn't working.
Okay,
As I kept getting that.
don't grid your backlight.
Oh, okay.
Here's your scrim. If you want the circle of light to be smaller, right? Put it close to the scrim.
Okay.
Then it can only spread this far.
Well, that's
The
what I
farther back you put your light, the more it's going to light the scrim up. See?
Yeah. Got it.
And if you have a speed light, you've got a square light, right?
Right.
Put something in front of it. Make it out of cardboard if you have to.
Round.
Something round and put diffusion over it. Piece of shower curtain, anything, but to get that round shape. Yep.
Okay.
If you can't do that, take a card as big as your scrim, big piece of foam core, right?
Okay.
Cut a hole in it, put your diffusion material over that, and put the strobe behind that.
Oh, okay.
Then you can control that shape.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Hey, Don.
Don?
For Judy.
Yeah.
Don? Oh.
Yes.
Okay, I found that an embroidery hoop, you take an embroidery hoop and throw your screw material on, it makes a nice round.
There you go.
Oh, okay.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry. I was wondering, Judy, how close was your background to your subject?
About 2 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, about.
Yeah, I had to move mine far back, and I kept having this problem where I saw all the creases and folds in the background, and
Yeah, that happened to me too when I was doing another shot. On that particular shot, the reason why you don't see the stem is because of the glass, is because I kept picking up the baby pool reflections from the baby pool. The baby pool was hot pink and green and other colors, and I kept getting the reflection off of that. So I just got in closer and tried not to get that pool.
I'm going to put this link in the chat window here for you. If you want to figure out your depth of field, there you go.
Okay. I do have one of those on my phone. It's a calculator. Yeah.
Yep. You can figure out where you're, because remember, you can focus forward if you want.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Very good.
All right. Thank you.
All right, where are we? Over here. There we go. Okay. Beautifully designed shot.
Thank you.
And adding your extra drops in. Great idea. There's your lighting.
I have a question if I can. How do you fix the issue of the reflection of the pool? What are some options to do that?
Putting black plastic over the pool, maybe.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
like a black trash bag or something.
Big trash bag over it, or cut the trash bag and spread it out over it. The pool isn't part of the shot. The pool is how you get your deposit money back from the apartment people. That's
right.
That's the whole goal of the pool.
Good idea.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, good. Nicely done there.
Thank
Rainey
you.
Mills. Oh, Rainey, that's really nice.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I was working with, because I don't have very much equipment here in Florida with me. All my equipment's in Michigan. So I was like, oh God, what am I going to do?
So I got this. You got a nice subtle little spray going on here behind it. How did you do that?
I had, okay, so if you look at my setup, like this is the most,
okay.
So see that little round thing? That's a ring light, like for video. So I used that on the back, and then just the speed light, and then And if you see, I think that maybe some of that circle might be from the overhead light, honestly, because if you look at that picture, you can still see it there. And the ring light wasn't on.
Okay.
So I think it's the way that the overhead light kind of hits that area. So I kind of got lucky.
Okay. How many shots?
For this one, so the pour was one, and the splash was the big splash on the right hand side was another one, and just that little tiny one that comes up on the left hand side was a third shot.
Okay. And you're pouring what? Tea?
Coffee.
Coffee.
Yep. Hot coffee.
Oh my.
Yeah, it didn't start out hot, but I had to make 3 more pots. So.
Wow. Boy, I bet that bathroom smelled like coffee for a while.
Oh, yeah, I bleached it like crazy because I'm like, okay, I don't want coffee stains.
Yeah, that's really pretty. Your speed light is 1/32. Yeah. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, you get them down to 132nd, they freeze it, don't they? Look at that. This is the part of the digital world that's so fascinating. We couldn't freeze it like this back when I was shooting in studio all the time. We couldn't do it. We had Normans and Speedotrons, and they just would not freeze it like this. So a lot of stuff was retouched, but we were very much more accepting of a little bit of movement in it. Today, to freeze it like that's really, really amazing. Nicely done, Rainey. Beautiful shot.
Thank you.
Great color and everything. Jorge, long time no speak, buddy. What's up?
Hello. Finally, the times kind of lined up.
Oh, good. I have no idea what you're doing here, but this is so pretty.
Well, it's it's lit from both sides.
Yeah, big softbox. Big. I can see big, whether box or reflector or whatever. Big liquid highlights all the way through it. Yeah.
And they just basically overflow. But this is a render. It's a 3D render.
Oh, okay.
I've been trying 3D stuff for a while, and I'm trying to see how good I can get it. Plus my office where I might set up for my classroom, so I can't get it wet. So yeah. So I didn't put a BTS shot. I wanted to see if people could tell if it was a render or not. I'll post a shot later, actually. I literally built a set in Blender, just like it will look like in real life. So there's a virtual black background. There's 2 panels lighting up from the side.
Yeah, it looked to me, if it was done in photography, it looked to me it was multiple shots blended together, multiple pours blended together, or some sort of wax.
So it's what I did is it's a liquid simulation.
Mm-hmm.
And then I set up the parameters. Like I designed and built the wine glass that goes with it. And then I just kind of let it run and pick out the frame I like. And then I can rotate it, so I can pick any angle out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope no one's thinking I'm trying to cheat. It just, I'm kind of
fascinating. It's fascinating.
But it's also because I'm here at the end of the world. So if it's not like anyone's going to ever send product to do any shots for them, so gonna have to them.
I just posted a video that up on the Project 52 class page that I think is really, really important. It's a young man who's a photographer, big Instagram following, big LinkedIn following, big Facebook following. He's a influencer, and he said, since the pandemic started, I haven't gotten one single job, which is fascinating because all the Project 52 people are shooting. And sort of reminded me that you can be famous on the internet and just be famous on the internet. It may not translate into a real world business. But the other thing he was talking about was, having said that, he was able to make it through by doing other things. He sells actions, he taught a course, he did a workshop, etc. I would say to any photographer, if you've got the time to learn Blender, learn it. Then you've got two things you can do. If you can write and be a photographer, oh, you've just opened. If you can design, if you can build a website, if you can help somebody do their Shopify site, multiple channels of income.
The other thing I've been getting into, I've posted some in the P52 group, is the photogrammetry, because I'm really interested in the AR. Like everyone's iPhone can do AR. And I've noticed some websites where they have the product and they rotate it. But they or you can put, have you seen the IKEA, you use the IKEA app where you can put the furniture in your house?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, so photograph the objects, I mean, from all angles to make that 3D object from photographs, not like a built-in CAD.
Right.
So then you can put it everywhere. So, and I've seen Nike does that with their shoes now. They hire a guy to photograph them all around, and then you can rotate it on their website.
Yeah, absolutely. It's coming everywhere.
Yeah, so and my students like it.
Yeah, I got a photographer who is just getting into the rotating, about the machine, the rotating machine in a whole bit, and has added it to his arsenal, and he's getting work from the fact that he can do that. So pretty cool. Josh Crandall, sir.
Hello.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good.
Good.
Nice pour.
Thank you.
Multiple shot or single shot?
That's 4 shots.
Okay.
One for the background and table, one for the splash in the glass, one for the stream coming out of the bottle, and then one to make the bottle label clear.
Okay.
Because it got kind of wet.
The label looks really good. This is a very nice, clean shot, Josh.
Thank you.
Are you a commercial shooter?
No, but I'm kind of dabbling in that kind of genre right now.
Yeah. This is a very nice, clean shot. I like how your horizon just sort of disappears over here. Your horizon's in the right spot as well. If y'all can see the curve of the bottle or the glass, that horizon comes right into that curve at the point where we can see that it's a curve. If it had come up here, it would be on the other side of the curve and we wouldn't see it. If it came down lower, well, it could come down lower. Lower is not a problem on this one, but had it been any higher, we wouldn't really see that curve of the glass so well. Very pretty. Looks like bright field lighting.
Yep. It's just one speed light behind it and a softbox, and with the big scrim in front of it.
Yep. This is bright field lighting right here, shooting into the light. And then the dark that's on the all of this is just what we call studio black.
Yep.
It's the place around it that did not get lit up.
And I was gonna maybe put black cards on the side, but I took a shot with just the studio black, and that worked so well didn't even bother.
Well, it does two things. There's two reasons. I mean, there's two ways of looking at it. Studio black works like this, and it becomes fairly random. But if you wanted to control the black, then you go with the black cards.
Right.
So it just depends on what you want to do. Obviously, there's no right or wrong. There's just what the client wants.
Yeah.
Just what the client wants. We live by the golden rule in commercial photography. Them that's got the gold makes the rules, and we do what they want. So,
yep.
A little bit of artist, a little bit of craftsperson. Really nice, nicely done. And what did you shoot this on? SB 800.
Yeah.
What's the lens?
A 105 f2.5 AIS manual focus lens from like the 70s or 80s, I think. It's
the
really
Nikon.
Nice. Yep.
I got one of those. I love
those
it.
Are real nice.
I
love that lens.
Mine's not even autofocus.
Yeah, mine isn't either.
No, manual focus.
Full manual.
Well, that Nikon makes it so nice to be able to put those lenses on the Nikon, and the little green light that, you know, that focus thing.
Oh yeah, the like I
It's
think they
just
call
dead
it
on.
a rangefinder, even though it technically isn't. Like it's great,
It's amazing how well it works.
right? You're basically just being a really slow autofocus motor for the camera at that point.
Yeah, yeah,
And it works fine.
absolutely, yeah.
And that lens is like under $300 used, so it's great.
And if you're in the studio, I rarely use autofocus in the studio. Rarely.
Yeah, me neither.
So anyway, those of you who shoot legacy cameras like Nikon and Canon, Canon's a little harder, but if you're lucky enough to shoot Nikon, or not lucky enough, I guess that's a silly word, but luckily Nikon's glass still fits. So you can buy a manual focus 28 2.8 lens for like $120. It's a gorgeous lens, the 105. And if you're a Nikon shooter and you don't have the 180 2.8, you're missing out.
Oh, I have that lens. That's
amazing.
God. Like
best lens in the world.
And it's so small and light compared to like a 70 to 200. You could just take that and not even worry about it.
Yeah. And it's but just remember, the prices are going up fast.
Yeah.
Because it's a finite quality.
Yeah, the problem is now that the Z mount cameras are out.
Yep.
Like people are just trying to offload their F mount gear. And once that happens, good luck.
Well, it's like Hasselblad. When digital came out, you could buy a Hasselblad for $300 online, and they're way up in the $1,000 range now because there's only so many of them.
Hey Don, I was in Japan when Nikon announced they were stopping film cameras back in 2004. Overnight, prices dropped 90% for about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Totally missed out on it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I just picked up an F5 for literally a song. I'm so happy I got it for amazing $275 for an F5 in perfect condition.
Wow.
Absolute perfect condition. So, all right, Dean, are you there?
I am indeed.
Is Dean out there?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes. Hi, Dean. How are you?
Yeah, good. Good to hear from you.
Okay. So what is going on here? This looks like just the water itself.
It is just water. What it has is I'm firing a light directly from above into a half sphere, so it's picking up the filtered gel lights from above. That's what adds the green and the blue to it.
Okay, so you've got gels into the background?
No, actually, firing effectively a reflection from above.
Oh, okay, got it. So you're hitting the background with the blue and the yellow gel.
Here. Up above, into the sphere above it. So it's seeing
up into
water. Yeah.
Okay.
So the water is seeing directly from above. What I wanted was the black from below and the color from above.
Got it. Wow, nicely done.
If you look at it, what I was trying to do is the bottom on the base there has like a ripple on it.
Yeah.
So I wanted like a Japanese water garden. So you got that water ripple and it's reflected, repeated in the top of the water and in the top of that glass. So you got the foot of the glass having and as well as that, so you got the repetition.
Now, how did you pour it?
Well, it was full of water and I basically dropped an ice cube into it.
Got it. Okay. All right. So it's a splash out rather than a pour. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Nice.
And so that's so the second one's meant to be the big ice. You see, there's actually a proper ice cube, and that was trying to put a bit of chaos into it. When that comes down, it obviously empties the glass.
And is this one single exposure?
No, this is actually three.
Three. Okay.
So to get that water ripple in the bottom on the plate there, I had to wait for the cube to hit the bottom, so it actually vibrated the plate and caused that ripple on the plate.
Got it.
And then I got another one which comes down, which I just wanted a small one, which causes that water flow to come out around. I want to emphasize the shape of the glass. And so that's what you see in that splash from. And the last one there is the main ice cube just dropping in.
Nice. Well thought out, Dean.
Yeah,
Very
just what I've got to
interesting.
hear. These fake ice cubes, there's a thing you can get called water effects. It's from Woodland Scenes. These are for building dioramas. But basically, it's like a clear liquid and it sits hard. So what you can do, the problem with most of that fake ice is it doesn't have a melted look.
Right.
So you can put this stuff on it and it gives it a melted look.
Oh, there you
Oh,
go.
it looks much more like the really, really expensive ice you can buy for, as you say, hundreds of dollars.
Hundreds of bucks.
Turn
Yeah.
one of those things into something that looks with a bit of artistic skill. You can turn those things into something that looks like real ice.
I have 2 medium cubes I got from the set shop about 30 years ago, and they're actually in a box in velvet. They sit in there, and they're all handmade, so they're no two alike. And they're in a box somewhere. But I paid, I think, I want to say 1990. I think I paid somewhere around $300 for the 2 ice cubes. But I was doing a shoot for a client, hotel client. We had to shoot all these drinks. So, you know, I just wrapped the $300 into the price of the shoot. I realized that it just let the shoot pay for it. I'm a big believer in that. Nicely done, sir. Really nice. Beautiful shot. So pretty.
Just while I've got you there, can I just say one more thing?
Yeah.
That's Sony camera. So I'm using a Mamiya 37mm lens on a tilt. So that whole, what I did was I tilted the front lens right over 17 degrees. So the focus of plane goes right to the back. So that's why the whole thing's in focus.
Oh, okay.
I'm using
Cool.
the tilt across the top. So I'm using the Sony as a digital back effectively. You can't see it there, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
So it's got a set of bellows between that and the Mamiya. It's an RZ 37. So
Okay.
I use basically Mamiya lenses.
Okay, so you're
So this
shooting
is-
it on a Sony through Mamiya lens on the RZ bellows?
Yes. Oh, I made my own bellows for it. So.
Oh, okay. Cool. Very cool.
See, even the back there is that looks like a softbox. There's actually a Fresnel lens with a set of bellows on it. So I can move the light in and out, and I can change the size of the light and how it focuses, so I can get a really nice graduation over the back. So what I did first off is I could get exactly the style of light I wanted to go through the glass. That's why it's a bright field. So I had a nice little spot and a beautiful graduation. It goes right across. So you had a little highlight in the bowl, and it actually graduated in 2 directions. So you got a cross going, you know, like horizontal across here, and then you've got up and down as well, because it has that. So you get that, you know, from a straight black glass, it just lit up beautifully.
Yeah, it did. Nicely done.
Thank
Nicely
you.
done. Should be very proud of that shot. David.
Morning, Don. How are you?
Good. Wow, that stuff's going everywhere.
Yeah. Said messy, so I went messy. You see the
Oh,
hole,
okay.
the ball
You're
where I
using
took the hole in the back? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, if you look at the behind the scenes, there's a hole in the bottle so I could pour water through.
Right.
I kind of didn't like it. It was just a little too controlled, so I didn't use a funnel or anything. I just dumped water with the pitcher. Some came through the bottle, some came around the bottle, there was just water everywhere, and I was pretty happy with it, so I quit.
Yeah, I did one once where I actually held a piece of metal against the front, right? Filled this up, because if you want to get a beautiful beer pour, if you want to get a beautiful wine pour, this is the way to do it, because you can gently pour it through the back and it just comes out so perfect, right? But if you want a messy pour, it may not be the right. So what I did was I put this thing and I held it in there, filled it about halfway, and then took it away, and it just gushed out. That's pretty cool effect as well.
Yeah.
But you just poured it through and over and everything. Nice.
Yeah. And I took a few shots before I put the lemon in the glass just to kind of get my lighting right. I went with that bowl because I really wanted to throw the light up from the bottom a little bit.
Right.
And also, it seemed like a good way to contain the water. And so it kind of killed two birds with one stone. And then I used the Pluto trigger as as a laser trap to catch the water when it's coming out in the splash. So
that looks great. Your shot looks fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
Very cool. Very fun. Folks, my dogs are going nuts. Can you hold for a second? Hold on. Well, that's good because we're recording it.
Yes, that'll help for me to go back and look at all this stuff and review.
The best way to learn is to look at people's work and hear them tell you what they did. I got to tell you, Sandy, at the end of this thing, you probably got a good 2-hour video here. At the end of this thing, you go back and watch it. The next water thing you do will be infinitely better than the first one.
That's what I'm hoping, because I spent like, I think 4 or 5 hours on and off throughout the day, trying so many things to make things splash, to making sure the lighting was correct, to different colors, and it's hard when you only want one posted, but I was trying so many things and ways to do stuff. So this was, like I said, this is all new to me, and I did the best I could for not having a lot of experience. So
Okay,
I'm basically a new person.
No problem. Well, you wait till you see at the end of this thing what you're doing. I guarantee it. So this is a continuous light, right?
Yeah, it's one of those little lights that you put up, and you can have it white or blue or red or whatever.
Okay. All right. Here's what
and then I had a softbox, and then I had a silver reflector.
What's in the softbox? What kind of light?
It was just a regular white light bulb that goes behind it.
All right. So what's happening here is that these lights are not strong enough to give you a shutter speed that's fast enough to freeze that water. Okay.
Okay. So it should have been brighter.
Absolutely. So I want you to bring this softbox in. This is your shot, right?
Correct.
That's your shot. Your softbox should be right there.
Oh, okay.
Here's a rule. Here's a Don's rule of thumb. Rule of thumb for lighting is start with your light as close to the subject as you possibly can get it without it being in the frame. You can always move back, but if you start with it back, no one ever moves it closer. It's like we don't do that.
Okay.
So start with it as close. Get this light right up here. You're probably right up here. And because you're doing a splash, put a little plastic in front of it so it doesn't get wet. But right up here, you're going to get 4 times the shutter speed that you got.
Okay.
So what do you remember what you were shooting it at?
Well, it was a 1/200, I guess, speed. With an f/16 focus and then an ISO 12800.
Yeah, so you could your shutter speed. I would say if you stayed with the ISO of 2800 and you brought those in, your shutter speed could be way up to like 1,000 or 1,200 of a second.
Well, this is another thing that I was trying to figure out how I had those speeds on my camera, and I realized I had to put it in full manual in order to get the other speeds.
Yes.
And I was using kind of like an aperture priority as a set, and then everything else just kind of flew in behind it. So that's again, this is a whole learning experience for me.
That's okay. Just get it. Yeah, just set the glass out there and get those lights in really close and find the your f/16 is fine. ISO start with like 400. Start with the ISO 400 and see where your shutter speed is. And if your shutter speed isn't up to 1/1200th of a second, then move your ISO up till you get it there. Okay.
Okay. All right.
All right. Very good. Well, your splash looks good. It's a little bit out of focus, but at 200th of a second, it's going to be. But it's very clean. Nicely done.
And then what I did try to do is I threw, some ice, and this was all on just one pour.
Right.
because I don't know, I don't have any idea on how to put multiple shots together yet. That's all, again, a brand new thing for me.
Don't
But I
worry
use,
about that. We all learn to walk before we run.
but I did use 2 little fake fish, which is why you see the touch of blue inside the glass. And then I had one that poured out of the glass that I was pouring in, I mean, from the container into the glass.
Mhm.
And that's where the pink one is on top.
Fun.
So,
We'll keep it, just keep
Yeah.
at it. All right.
all right. Well, thank you for the
All right. So
information. That's going
what
to be
you
very
do-
helpful.
Yep. And what you do later today or tomorrow when you have a chance is to go reset this up, move those in, and see if you can get it in focus. And you will.
Yes.
And then boom, that's cemented in your brain, and we move on to the next thing. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Excellent. Oh, Carl, that's really cool, man.
Hey, thanks.
That's pretty nice. Look at that. I really like this ultra high key look that you've got going here.
Yeah, I spent a long, like multiple days doing different things, and then finally I kind of arrived at the like Alice in Wonderland kind of feel.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. And it's a kind of a magic pour because we don't know who's holding it and how you got this. So how did you get this magic pour here?
That was, you had a video, it was like John McAllister. So this was very much his shot. A lot of what I did was his idea because he had the tea pouring and then he had the milk pouring at the same time.
Yeah.
But I had already done, like a few years ago, I realized you could do floating photos with a fish, like a fishing line.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a lot of clear ukulele strings. I used one of those. So I was hanging it, and I realized hanging it is crucial because I was trying to hold it at first, and it wasn't working because you couldn't composite. If you hold it up with the invisible string, you can't hold it in the same place for like multiple photos. It's really hard. So I think hanging it is like what makes it work.
Yeah. And Photoshop is so easy. You could actually have a piece of PVC pipe back here taped to the back of this, because taking the PVC pipe off would be like cut, gone.
Yeah.
So yeah, hanging, working out what you knowing if your background was brick and stuff, that'd be harder to do. But on something like this, you can always use a second strut to come in to keep it in the exact same spot. This is so well done. And you couldn't find anybody better to emulate than John McAllister. He's a hell of a photographer.
Yeah, I think the other thing was practicing with water first. I
Mhm.
practiced with water for like 2 days before I tried doing this. Was actually cashew milk. So yeah, I practiced with water, and I realized when I was doing the pour shots, it's very hard to do a controlled pour from high up. I think if you're pouring, like this was pretty low. If you're doing a low pour and have it spill over, it's much easier not to make a mess that you have to clean up. I think if you
Yes.
do a pour from high up, it's almost impossible.
Well, yeah, big messy things can be a problem. Absolutely.
Yes, I made a lot of messes before it, but at the end I was like, I don't want to make any more messes. I just want it to be a controlled spill.
And you using like what'd you say it was pecan milk?
Cashew milk.
Cashew milk, yes.
I'm trying like a vegan diet, so that's why I was doing that. Which actually I realized later is better because it's thicker.
It's thicker, yes.
than milk.
Whenever you see milk in commercials, whether they're pouring the milk into cereal or you're trying to get a pour like this, it's going to be something like almond milk or even heavy cream, because cream will pour beautifully. Milk is very much like water. It's just absolutely thin and will splash everywhere, where this doesn't tend to splash as much as it flows.
Yeah, I think
Nice
another
well
tip I
done.
had, I was trying because I was doing all that bath bomb stuff too. So I realized if you want like a colored water, you can get a bath bomb and it makes like multiple gallons of basically any color you want, and it cleans up really easily.
Nice. Nicely done.
I was watching a video and the guy was using Elmer's glue, that he diluted and then did it
Well,
really
the problem,
Elmer's glue.
the problem with Elmer's glue, and if you're doing it for your portfolio, I guess all bets are off. But if you're doing a food shot or an ad, you can't use Elmer's glue. You cannot use anything that's unedible.
That's
You're
true.
doing it for your
Yeah.
portfolio and stuff. So I have never used motor oil for syrup or any of that stuff. I try to stay within that realm so that I'm not, not lost when I have to go and do it as a job. But it is illegal to use non-food items in a food shot for a food client. If the client's an insurance company, knock yourselves out. Use, whatever, vegetable grease makes Crisco makes great ice cream cones, and you put chocolate on the Crisco. It looks great. It never melts. Looks like highly frozen ice cream. But you can't do that if you're shooting for a food company. You can do it if it's the insurance company. Nicely done, Carl.
Thanks.
Well done. Giannis. All right, Giannis.
Hello, Don.
Hi. So we got a
Martini.
skewer with olives.
Yes.
And I think this is bright field lighting, right? Yes. So you're using, at this point, studio black for the around it and shooting right straight into the light source. Good.
Yes,
I
I
would
used
have.
the black cards, but it was useless
Yeah.
because,
Yeah, you got all the dark we need here in the flash. They got the rim here, the splash, I mean. All of this looks good. I'm going to be really it's a clean shot and be really critical. I would not have put the horizon there because the horizon changes the color of the stem. Okay. Is that a big deal? Maybe not to some people. It is to me because it changes the subject. I would have, to show the roundness and the pretty delicate fluting here of this thing, I would have put the horizon down right about there. That way, all of this pretty part of the glass expanding out.
I tried that and I broke 3 glasses. Because it was just in the edge. So I had to glue the glass for not breaking it down.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Or I had to be more, upside and take that roundness you just told me.
Yeah. One thing you could do that would be okay, I think, is just to get rid of the gray in the stem.
Oh, yes, I thought that, but it was just out of the camera, I didn't do any retouching at all.
Yeah.
I thought that, yes, you're right. I could have done that.
Very clean. Nicely done. Real simple lighting. Very nicely done. Good job.
I had the strip box in the right just for the olives, just a field flash. It was kind of a 4:1 ratio, I think.
The strip box here?
Yeah. That was just for the olives because the olives went out very dark without light. Yeah.
Clean. Now, do you use a meter or do you?
Yeah, I always use a light meter. I just metered the screen, the light, the softbox that is behind the screen, and put it to zone 7, and I got the F9, or I think F9, yes, F9. I just went there.
Yeah, I'm a big believers in meters, folks. It frosts me to no end that I see photographers out there saying, "Oh, you don't need a light meter," and all of these.
Oh, you sure you do?
They have 20 years of experience under their belts. Yeah, if you've been shooting for 20 years, you probably need it less than someone's been shooting for 6 months. But you got the advantage of learning it. If you want to learn photography faster, get a light meter.
Yes, I've been shooting from 25 years now as a professional photographer, and I always use a light meter, spot metering actually. Either for skin tones, either for everything.
Yeah, I use I use Minolta flash meter 4s. I've got.
Oh, I
3 of
have
them
that
and a
too. It's
flash
very,
meter.
it's a beast. It's a beast. Yeah, it's very nice.
My
Thank you,
meter's
Don.
been, my meter's been with me since 1981. If you can imagine.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Does the old light meters are actually good than the newer one?
The look, the Sekonic meter is a wonderful meter. Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever had to move a refrigerator?
Hmm.
Do you need a pickup truck or do you need a 40-foot 10-wheeler, 12-wheeler, whatever they're called? See, the problem with the new meters is they got every whistle and bell on the planet, and all you need is a damn meter.
Oh, yes.
So I think if you go up to eBay and you find a flash meter 4 or flash meter 5 for sale for $200, it's amazing. It's got more whistles and bells on it, and it's a 1980 to 85 meter than I'll ever use. And you get to the new Sekonics and stuff, and they're great meters. They really are. They just got a whole lot of stuff. If I was going to go and buy a new meter today, I'd buy the small, the L308 Sekonic.
The Flash Master, the new one, from Sekonic?
I don't know if it's the little one. It's the cheapest one.
Yeah, that's one. That's one. Yeah.
That's the one I would buy. I wouldn't buy the 358. That's a great meter. And then they've got the great big one, the great big monster thing that you put up to your eye.
Yeah, I have that. I think 758. I have with a spot meter.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is actually good to use the spot metering on the studio or with a dome.
I use the dome exclusively in the studio. I spot meter on
It's
location.
for landscapes.
Yeah. When I can't get over there, I use the spot meter. If the same light's falling on that subject that's falling on me, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'll just put the dome right up over my head because it's not going to change. And then I'll work with it from there. But if you're doing anything where you've got high contrast, like in a rainforest or something, you've got a spot meter. You have to.
Yeah.
Otherwise. And you always find out that if you're doing that, you're going to have to do multiple exposures and blend them. People will say, "Oh, I use a zone system in digital." No, there's no zone system in digital.
Yes, I know that.
Zero.
Yes, you're so right.
Yep.
Yes.
Because if you don't
Thank
have
you so much,
chemistry,
Don.
then you don't have zone. So
Yes, I actually use it for zone systems on locations. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Thank you, Don.
Joe.
Hey, Dan.
Joe C. What's up, Joe?
Oh, not much. How you doing?
Good. We got a big old pour through here. Looks like you cut the bottom off and just poured it right through.
Yeah, there's a funnel stuck in the top end.
Yeah. Bright, clean, pretty color. 5.6, 160th. And what's your strobe?
The strobe were those, they're on the behind the scenes, the Adorama 200 watt second.
The 8200s?
They're like the Godox.
Yeah, the Godox ones. Yeah.
Right. And there's a setting in there you can change to show you the flash duration on the screen in the back. So at 1/28th, it's 113,336.
That will definitely freeze water. Yeah. So dark or bright field lighting.
Yep. It's a couple cards on the side for the bottle.
Yeah.
In the liquid.
Bottle's nicely shaped with the cards, that little dark area there. Get to see the ribs in the bottle. All of it looks good. Single pour.
That was one pour, yeah. I tried two different glasses. Couldn't find one that gave me the kind of splashes I was looking for. But I had a martini type glass, and that was worse than this one.
Fun. Well, and what I like about the shot when I first saw it is this. All this is here. It's all frozen, and yet we know that all of this is going to be down here shortly.
Yep, it was.
Yeah. We know there's a mess coming here because the glass is overflowing already. Fun shot, Joe. Nicely done. Nicely done. Mark Shaw dropping a lemon. Look at that. Clean edges all the way around, Mark.
Thanks, Don.
I actually kind of like the motion in this. Kind of like it. Kind of makes a nice immediate, like these little flared out things. SK300, and you're shooting at 125th of a second, so you're getting a little bit of blur. That one of the things about the SK300 is, if you guys don't know this strobe, it's a wonderful light. It's $100. It's a lousy $100. I wish something like this existed when I started photography. The only thing is, it doesn't have a fast flash duration. It's a little bit slower, so it's great for still life, product, people, portraits, etc. Something like this, it falls down. But then I have to remind you, it's only $100. You're not going to get a $100 strobe that does what a $600 strobe does. So great. How do you like it, by the way?
I love it.
It's great light, isn't it?
It's so, you know what? I tried a couple of shots just using a speed light, but this was with the SK300, and I thought this is the better shot.
Nice. Yeah. I do like it got a little bit of action with it. I'm trying to shoot video. I'm forcing myself to shoot video because I'm not a videographer. And one of the things that I'm working with is that, movies are shot at 1/24 24 frames per second. So in other words, 1/24, right? One's 24th of a second. So I'm shooting, and the reason is that things that move have a little bit of a blur at a 24th of a second, right? And so digital, when you're shooting with a digital camera, you can get really fast shutter speeds, really fast, like 1/2100th of a second on an iPhone is nothing. And that makes everything so crisp, it looks like a video on an iPhone. When you use something like Filmic, which is that's my favorite video thing, you can lock it down to 24th of a second. It's really pretty. You got to put a neutral density filter on the camera, but it's really pretty because you do get a little motion like that. I like it, Mark.
Thanks, Don.
Oh yeah, dark field lighting.
I tried using the pour thing, but frankly, there's nothing that beats just dropping a lemon into a glass.
There you go. Now, for those of you who are wondering what dark field lighting is, this is the light source, this big white thing. He's shooting from here and he's putting a black card in front of the light source. So the light on the sides is coming around and lighting the edges of this. It's called dark field lighting. If we go back and look at the shot, you'll see what it does. It illuminates all the edges of it. You can play with dark field lighting. Now he's got it only going up this high. So some of this up here is getting up into the top of the image. Dark field lighting is wonderful for any kind of glassware, anything that's real shiny. Give it a try. It's a great. And the reverse of that would be a black card with a white small hole here to be a bright field lighting, because then the light's going to come through and the back is surrounded by darkness. So two very nice, useful lighting things. Patricia is pouring beautiful water there, Patricia. Wow, I like this.
Sorry, I was muted there.
Yeah.
As I said, I'm a bit like Sandra, completely new to anything indoors.
Uh-huh.
Just a hobby, photography. So go ahead, yeah.
You got great definition here. I love the top of it. You caught it at just the perfect moment. I mean, this water is peaking over the top here. It's starting to come right over the top. So you know that the tension's going to break at any moment. I love the little bit of blue that you have here. And you put the horizon in exactly the right spot. So You may be all new to shooting inside, but dang, girl, you got
my problems when I was starting this was where to put the horizon line. So yeah, I looked at some videos and that seemed to be the right kind of place. But I am also using continuous light, so I wasn't too sure how I work with the splash and all that.
Let's see.
I'm afraid I use the concept of landscape photography, which I'm more comfortable with, and went for a longer shutter speed of a 30th of a second to get the flow of the water. But I realize now maybe I could have done something completely different.
Well, you could have, but there's nothing wrong with your shot. It's pretty. Your shot's pretty. You've got that like you said, landscape. You've got that sort of waterfall look.
Yeah, I only could work on what I was used to, so yeah.
Sure.
I just pre-focused in the middle of the glass, basically. I just stuck a ruler in and pre-focused, and then just shot off some regular amount of shots to get various levels of water. I was a little bit unhappy about that. You can see a mark kind of there in the bottom toward kind of right. No, yeah, well that, and beside it down to the left, but I wasn't, just a little, it's kind of going up the middle of the glass or whatever.
Oh, this?
Yeah, I wasn't sure what caused them and how to get rid of them, but
I'd get this is a easy fix in Photoshop with the little stamp tool. What's it called?
Yeah, I didn't do that because I didn't want to take away from the fact that, like, when you're reviewing them, to see what I'd done wrong with lighting and stuff like that. If you fix it all up, it's like you don't see
one
it.
other thing you could have done is put a black card over here.
I actually did have black cards. They weren't very effective, but if you look at the behind the scenes, I don't think the black cards maybe weren't near enough or something. I don't know.
No, they're at the wrong angle.
Oh, right. Okay.
Angle of incidence, angle of reflection. This black card's over here. It's not seeing it. You need to get the black card right back here.
Right. It was, yeah. As I
Because
say,
it's the white
I was very limited with what I was using and so on. So I was kind of like tried to cobble together things from shower curtains and continuous lights and bits of card and so on.
No, you're doing fine. Just get that card back. If you decide to redo the shot, get the card back and you'll get a much better edge there.
So the card needs to be nearer to the...
Yes. So your glass is like this and your camera's over here. Yeah. So it's angle of incidence, angle of reflection. So by the time it gets to this part of the glass, right? Yeah. Camera, this part of the glass is reflecting from over here.
Right.
That's where the card has to be.
So
if it's here, then it's like the camera's seeing this and it's looking over here where it's not seeing it. Okay. The black card is almost ineffective.
Yeah, it seemed to be. And that was part of my problem as well, is that the only other type of indoor shooting I've done is in a studio, but I've usually had somebody else there and I can look through the camera and say, I'll move the thing somewhere else. But when I was working on my own with the pandemic and that, it was kind of hard. It was like, oh, but did I move it in right, or, you know, that kind of way. So
it looks really good, Patricia. Keep at it.
I was saying it's very much a learning experience for me.
Good. It's supposed to be.
So, thank you.
Yes, Catherine. Catherine,
hello.
This looks like a piece of art.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can
you hear me?
Can you? Yes, I can.
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay. I'm also a newbie with lights. I think I did not have enough light. I've got a lot of noise.
Okay, let's talk about your behind the scenes here. What do we have going on here?
That's it's a soft box with continuous lights, and it's an LED in it. It's one that my husband bought some time ago to shoot bubbles, soap bubbles. and I know it didn't have, but it had a hot spot in it. So
Well,
I put parchment.
Hotspot's not necessarily wrong. Hotspots, get that.
Yeah, but it
hotspot
made a big unattractive X behind the glass. And also I didn't want it to get wet, so I put parchment paper over it, which cut down the light even more.
Right.
So then I kept upping the ISO because I wanted to freeze the motion, and I just was, and I used my setting I used for birds to freeze the action, which was 1/1600th. So I don't know. I wasn't happy with the shot, but eventually I figured.
Where did you end up?
Was
What
the
was
best.
your final exposure? Do you remember?
1/1600th, ISO 1600, at an f5.6.
Okay. All right. Well, then the only thing that I notice in this looks like it's in focus up here, but that doesn't look like it's in focus. So,
yeah.
And now before you think that's a problem, okay, I happen to really kind of like this picture because you broke a lot of rules here, and yet you ended up with something that's really kind of interesting to look at. I like this shot. It's not, here's the problem. It's not what you wanted, right? So
yeah,
we can always like serendipity, but the most important thing is to get what you wanted. I think you missed focus. Did you have it on autofocus?
I did not, but I think the camera's new, and I think what's happening is that I have it manual focused, but I also have it in burst mode, and I think it was refocusing on me.
Oh yeah, you got to get it. You got it. Yeah, because that looks sharp, and that looks sharp, and there's little edges in here that, to me, really, I would hire you to do a shot like this. I really would. The problem is, if we don't know how we got it, we can't reproduce it. It's just
exactly.
It's just neat enough to go, yeah, I could run that as an ad. Absolutely. That frees up anybody's footsteps to see this. There's all this intricate things going on with focus. So find out what's going on with your camera. And I would say that, yes, when you do a shot like this, if you want to do it and get it, you've got to focus on the glass with the ice in it, and then lock your focus. And then because you were shooting at 5.6, all of this should be in focus back here. The camera picked up,
and it was
that cube or that edge. It picked up something and changed your focus. That's what it did.
Yeah. Hey, I've got a question. When the water comes over the glass, the refraction, you know how a straw goes down into a glass of water and it bends it?
Yeah.
When the water comes over in front of the glass, can it bend it? Because I had another shot where the glass just looked like it was all bent out of shape. It looked like an impressionistic watercolor of some sort.
That I don't really know, but I know if you did this, if you put a glass of water and you have black over here and white over here, the water will have white there and black there.
Yeah.
That'll happen.
But if the water
coming up front and refracting, I don't know.
Water splash came out and wrapped around the glass, and on the side where it covered the glass was all bent out of shape. It was really neat, but it was weird.
Yeah, put it up on Facebook.
Okay, we'll do.
See if we can figure out what it is.
Okay.
Nice, really
Thanks,
nice.
Tom.
Yeah, Catherine, a really great first attempt. I know it's not what you wanted, but I got to tell you, I really like this shot.
But I'm like the others. I'm a newbie with lights.
No?
So
You did.
But
you
it's
did
been
everything-
fun.
You did everything right. I think your camera did something wrong by refocusing. So
I'll talk to it.
there you go. Beat it up.
Thank you.
Yep. Greg.
Hello.
Nitro brew, huh, buddy?
Yep.
Wow.
Talk about your studio smelling like coffee.
Oh man. So 1/200th of a second, 60 meter, ISO 200. And which strobe? Because that is just literally frozen in like.
Well, this is as much Photoshop as it is photography. So there's a lot of shots going on here. And actually the F11 ISO 200, that's just the can shot. So my splashes I was shooting at ISO 320 at f14 at 200th of a second.
Cool.
And I have probably 6 splash shots used to make this image. 6 different pieces.
Well, typically good work, Greg.
So, this is driving me crazy, Don. Does anybody else look at this can and go, it's just a little wonky? There's something about it that feels like the top of the can is slightly wanting to barely move to the right. And I've used my guides, the sides of the can are perfectly vertical.
Well,
but I don't know what the heck.
I'm concerned. It's that
Yeah.
highlight right there.
I think it's the coffee.
It's the coffee that gives you that vision, yes.
Yeah, maybe you've had too much coffee.
That drip you circled, that's a drip. That's a piece of water.
That little white thing there, when I cover that up, the can looks perfectly straight. When that thing is there, it looks like the can is cattywampus to me.
Huh.
I see the can. I think you just would need to turn it just a little bit to the left because it looks like that you have the right side a little bit further away, maybe just turn it just slightly. Yeah.
Look at this, Greg. I don't think this point lines up with this point.
If you put a ruler straight across it, it's perfect. It does line up. I've checked every angle I can.
Yeah, it sure does. Yeah, it sure does.
I don't know. I mean, it's just one of those goofy things. And the right to left between there, side to side, just a fraction.
Could it maybe be the light that's coming in on that side that's just giving it a different look?
How close was the lens to the can?
Probably 18 inches maybe.
Because it's a 60, so could it be just the curvature of the lens?
I don't know. Good question.
I don't know. It's interesting.
So, sorry, I don't have it behind the scenes this time. I completely spaced it off.
Not a problem. Nice shot, sir.
Thank you.
Terry. Is Terry here? All right, we'll come back for Terry if Terry comes in. Mildred. Oh, look at that, Mildred. There you go. All right.
Hi, I'm sorry I couldn't unmute myself.
There you go. That's really pretty, Mildred. A single
Hi,
shot?
how are you? A single shot. A single shot, only one light. I wasn't too happy with it because I wanted the background even brighter. And I was using a 360 and I'll actually set that up again so that I use a bigger box, even though I did have something to block the light a little bit, like shower curtain. But I still,
did you put this in Photoshop and use your channel? You should be able to get that background to go pure white.
Well, Don, I did, but I didn't. I played with it. I kind of just dodged it with a little white up on the corners where I really didn't like it. But I didn't really wanted to fool around a lot with Photoshop because I have it set up again, and I'm switching lights and putting something with a bigger softbox, and I think I want to get it as right in the camera as I can. So that's why I didn't continue. I just looked at it and I said, well, tomorrow I'm just going to use a different box, a different light, and I've got it all set up to go again. So yeah, I just rather, you just tell me what's crazy about it. But it's just one pour.
I do like, I very much like the way the light is on the pores. It looks on the liquid looks really good. Your green coming in here looks very good. Yeah, I agree. The background, we got a little hot spot there. I agree the background should come up a little bit, but you did it with one light, which I'm kind of thinking is on the side.
No, it's behind the white.
It's back here?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I put a
Okay.
I think there's a shot in there showing what
if you're shooting into the light, all you've got to do is you just got to open your aperture.
Yeah.
Yeah, just give it more exposure.
Yeah, I played with it a little bit, but like I said, I did. I set it back up, and I thought, no, I'm gonna shoot this again. So because I wanted it as it's clear as I could get it, but I said the shot in there is probably, I don't know if it made it or not, but it shows my setup.
See where we are here, down here. No, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing you behind the scenes. Do you see it?
No, I don't.
No.
I'll put it on the page, but actually, yeah, I sent it. I don't know why it's not there.
I'm not seeing it. All right. Right. Well, Mildred, good shot. We'll work on that background. We'll get it where we want. Yep. Absolutely. Marjorie.
Hi, Don.
Hi, Marjorie. How are you?
I'm good. The sun got better. Did you notice?
And so what's our lighting? Okay, so natural light from back there?
Natural light, yep.
Okay.
Because my flashes are on the way, but they're not here. So.
Okay. The first thing that I notice is it's very soft in contrast. That's not a critique. It's just a reality. So, I mean, some people shoot this way. Is that what you wanted? Did you want this very soft contrast?
Well, yeah, yes, I did, only because I was going through some filters in Lightroom, and I saw this filter, and I said, "Oh, I like that." So I just
it's just basically it's just brought your blacks way up. So there's no real black in the picture. Darkest thing in the picture seems to be like right here or right here, and everything else is above that. Has a nice feel to it.
It is.
And you're dropping ice?
I wasn't dropping. I was actually pouring. The ice was already in there, but I was pouring.
Okay. Now this shows the glass at an angle, but I don't think you shot it that way, right? Or
no, I rotated it once in Lightroom.
Okay. All right. So you're pouring it into it. It's really pretty. What was you kind of froze this stuff pretty well. What was your shutter speed?
The shutter speed, I'll tell you in a second here. It's 1/1000th of a second.
Okay. That works out pretty well. Nicely done, Marjorie.
Slow shutter speed.
Good. Michelle York.
Hey, Don.
Hello.
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
That Terry Donahue, she left a note a while ago that she had to leave the meeting and she was going to look forward to her critique on the recording. It's like 2 pictures back.
This one?
I think that might be it.
Okay. Is this hers as well?
Yeah, she has a message in the chat room that she had to leave.
All right, so we're using 3 lights all the way around it. Soft light and 2 octaboxes.
So I'm going to post my other photos on the
And she
Tuesday.
looks like she's got, I don't know what's going on here. Is that a bottle?
Tuesday and
Tell.
Wednesday.
Terry, next time you put your pictures up, put them up like 2,000 pixels on the long edge. Facebook is okay with that. This looks good. I don't think we're supposed to see this over here though, Terry. Light on both sides of this looks very good. Highlights look good all the way through here. Highlights look good through here. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I can't see it. It's really small on my screen, Terry. Okay, it looks like you side lit it. You got a pretty nice looking shot with it. I need to see more of this. Need to not lose these edges. When we're shooting up against something dark, we can't lose those edges. So I can't tell what that is. It's a little bit too small. All right. And I should have said this earlier. I forgot this was first class for a lot of people. If you have to go early, if you got a kid's soccer game or your second vaccine or whatever the hell it is that you need to get, and you come on here, just send a note in the chat. Say, hey Don, can I go at the top? I got to leave. We can accommodate you unless it's everybody. Then that doesn't work. But all right, is Michelle here?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, Michelle, a tee shot. This is kind of a nice thing to have this liquid highlight here. Kind of nice. Get a little bit of reflection down here. Your lemons look nice and juicy. The tea's got bubbles in it. That looks good. And this is falling into it and do a two-pick composite. So what's the composite? The pour and the tea?
Just one of the splashes. The splash on the right was just added in.
Oh,
it was
okay.
virtually a one shot, but I just put another extra splash in.
Oh, okay. All right. That looks good. We have a behind the scenes?
Yes.
Yeah,
Next,
and I like
picture.
I like where your your horizon is. I like that. You're pushing a tangent here. It's not quite because you're technically over, but watch out for these tangents where this coffee cup comes down and meets that horizon. Twist it a little bit so it either cuts well into the horizon or cuts above the horizon. Because right now, even though it's tucked into the horizon, it's very, very close. And we don't want to get that close if we can keep from it. Okay.
Okay.
Should the liquid that's in the pour look more like the tea, or doesn't it matter?
Well, there's a lot of tea here. There's a little pour here. And yeah, what you can do, Michelle, is cut out your tea,
yeah,
carefully, but not exact. So don't sit here for an hour with the pen tool. It can be a little sloppy, right? Then you could sample, move it to a new layer, isolate it, lock it, sample one of this tea here, and then using a brush at about like 8%, right? Just add a little color to it. It would not take much at all for that tea to come forward a little bit. All right, let's look at you behind the scenes here. Okay, so light coming from behind.
Yes.
And what is over here? Is this a flash?
Yes, speed light. I had a speed light behind the scrim and a speed light there at the front, bouncing off a white card.
Bouncing off the white
to
card.
light the cup. Yeah.
Excellent. That's very clean. What was your exposure? Oh, here it is. F16, 125th of a second. Yeah, cool. It's a good shot.
Thank you.
Yeah, well done. So fun. Jay. Jay,
Hi,
you're
Don.
dropping line. What's the black line around the?
It's just from the composite. I took it from another shot that probably had more black behind it.
Oh, okay. And splashing limes into it. I love the shadow on the wall. I think that's very cool.
Yeah, I like that myself. And then I used a snoot from One Direction, which I thought, which one I just wanted to focus on the bowl and the water with limes hitting the water. So that I think I accomplished. And then I put the whiteboard on the other side to sort of try and even out the light, but it did, there's the light coming from the snoot was much stronger. So
Yeah.
it did even it out, but I don't know what difference. It's just sort of a look. Either you like the look or you don't, I think.
Right. Well, you're when you're compositing, remember you got to watch your angle of light. Your light's coming from this way, and then on this lime, it's coming from this way.
Yeah, I turned it around. I rotated
Yeah,
it.
you gotta keep it. It just stands out, and it makes the black fringing even worse. Get rid of the black fringing. If you're gonna
Okay.
composite a item onto a light background, shoot it against a light background. If you're shooting against a dark background, shoot against a dark background. But you shot these against the dark background and then put it on the bright background. So even as it wraps around, it's not getting that feeling of reflected light that it should have.
Okay.
Yeah, I like the snoot in the water and the shadows of the water going up. That'd be a cool shot in and of itself.
Yeah, maybe I'll take the limes. I'll take the falling limes out, although they were fun. One question I had, I didn't realize it at the time, but I didn't have the bowl. I don't know how much closer I could have gotten it to the diffuser pit in the back, but the horizon line is probably higher than it. I would have liked it. Upon reflection, I would have liked it to have been. How much do you think that detracts from the image?
Well, it's a choice now. I mean, this isn't a high horizon. That it's not a mistake when it's that high.
Oh, okay.
You put it where you wanted it to be. So it's either going to be up here or it's going to be down here.
Yeah, it would
Can't
be two
here
different.
or here. That's the problem. Then it's just cutting the bowl in half. So you've decided to put it that way so the bowl is on the table. That's just an artistic decision at that point.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
too high.
that's helpful. I just wasn't quite sure how to
It's like
make it
tilting
work.
your horizon. If you tilt it at 4 degrees, it looks wrong. You tilt it at 15 degrees, it looks like it's on purpose. So, and when Lee tilted it at 45, it definitely looks like on purpose. I don't think Lee is looking at her picture now going, I don't think I shot that straight. There's no, yeah. That's really cool. You got this real high contrast thing going here, Lee. What's going on with that?
I shoot high contrast.
What's that?
I shoot in high contrast.
Okay.
I have my speed light and my strobe kind of high, so it was on purpose.
Okay.
And I have a gel.
You got, yeah, this background isn't white. It's kind of an off color kind of thing. So it's like your blacks are crushed way down to black and your highlights are brought down a little bit, but it doesn't look underexposed. It's not an
right. I did modify a little bit the curve on post.
All right. Well, what made you think to do it at an angle like that?
Well, I wanted to do it a long time ago. I wanted to do something on an angle dramatic, and then I have the camera and a little bit of an angle. So I'm like, you know what? It might work. So I decided to do it because it has a lot of movement. So that was the idea. I don't know if it's right. But
now let's look at you behind the scenes.
That's what it is.
This is your behind the scenes?
Yes.
Okay, so there's is this a paper snoot? Is that what's going on?
It's a paper snoot where I drop ice, but the
Okay.
ice are fake. When I was shooting them, they kept flying all over the place, and I was spending more time finding the cubes
Okay.
falling. So I decided to shoot, decided to put the snoot to drop the ice directly.
Okay.
So it worked.
Do you have gelled lights going on here too?
On camera left, no, this is just a speed light with the small diffuser, with the white diffuser.
This
And
one
the
here?
other photo, you will see what is in the back. The back is the strobe with the gel. That's it.
Is it one gel or two?
No, just one.
And what color?
I think it's the green. What color is it? Hold on. It's the blue one.
Okay. How are we getting the purple into here? Do you know?
How the what?
The purple. Did you do that in Photoshop?
No.
Where's the purple coming?
Purple was, oh, the purple comes because the glass has red color
Got it. All right.
from a Gatorade.
Got it. So the glass is actually a colored glass.
Yes.
Cool. That's a cool shot, Lee.
Thank you.
I like it. I like it a lot.
So you see the glass has color.
How do you how did you drop the ice cubes in when the snoot was so close to the glass?
Oh, from the top?
Oh, you dropped
It's
it
just
through?
it's just I wrap it, and then from the top I just drop the cubes, and they were
Okay, so there's
straight.
no light in the snoot. It's just
No, it's just
No, it's
drop
just
the cubes so they will
just
go
a
directly
funnel.
to the glass.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, okay. I didn't catch
Because
that.
I was missing it, and they were bouncing from the glass all over the place.
Well, that's
So I said,
you
you know
gave a
what, we need
little.
to be systematic.
Very cool.
That's interesting. I hadn't have thought of that. That's great.
Carla.
Thanks.
Gracias.
Hi, Don.
Hi, Carla.
Hi.
This is nicely done. Look at how pretty your bottle is.
Thanks.
The right things you did on the bottle. Even though the bottle's curving back towards the black, do you guys see that little tiny line that separates the bottle from the background? Wow, look at that. Really tasty done. Cap looks good, and we've got a little tiny, you see the little rim light on the cap? Do you have a light over the top, or how are we getting that, Carla?
Just a light in the back and slightly above.
Okay. Yeah. And if that light was the only thing on, this shot wouldn't work at all. It would be almost nothing, right? That's the thing about the top lights, folks. They do almost nothing unless you're filling them in with cards, etc. But without them, you don't get those little touches. You don't get the top of the beer, etc. The label looks pretty good. I think you should have turned it a little bit so we got the label was centered. If it's a beer shot for Bavaria, obviously.
And I think the glass is not the right one, but that's what I had.
Yeah, it's fun. It looks like one of those little flight glasses where you get a flight of beers. You know, they bring you 4 beers in these little glasses. It kind of looks like that, so that doesn't bother me.
I did realize something that I wanted like a really messy splash, but beer doesn't really go like that. It just gets foam.
Yeah, and nobody ices their beer. We don't put ice cubes in beer, but it's a
They
messy.
do in Cambodia.
Well, I do if I'm in Europe. I mean, I've gone into England. You know, here in the States, we got the English bars, and they give you the warm beer. It's like, what's up with that? No way. You know, bring me ice. Yeah, this looks good. This looks really, really good. Do you have something behind the beer? You've got to have a white card back there, right?
No, I didn't have anything behind. I mean, there is a lime inside, but didn't make anything. So
Okay. Well, the lime is what we're seeing. Yeah.
yeah.
The head looks great, foaming over like that.
And it's two
Uh,
shots. It's a composite.
Okay, so why does the beer, the pour is a composite and the bottle's a composite, a shot?
Well, there is like just the beer that is dropping. That's the only thing that is from another shot. The other one, everything is in one shot.
Okay.
And then there is in the behind the scenes, there's two white cards, just like right next to the strips. I mean, they are not in the picture, but they were in the
Okay.
picture.
Yeah. And what did they did? They're back here
No, they are actually in the front.
in the front. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
To light the beer up. Yep.
Yeah.
And it looks like your strip lights are to the back of the bottle. Am I right?
Slightly.
Yeah.
Slightly. They are like, I mean, in an angle.
Yeah. That's what's giving us that last little edge right there. That angle of reflectance picking up that there. Watch out for, this is for everybody. Watch out for the soft boxes that have the lips on them, the little black lips.
Okay.
They can reflect into your bottle. One of the reasons I buy softbox for the studio where the white thing comes right to the edge. I like it even if it fits over the front. That way I've got a really smooth presentation of light. These can cause problems, but if you put up a scrim, then it doesn't make any difference at all. So,
okay.
Yeah, really nicely done, Carla. Good shot.
Thank you, Don.
Yes. Yes. Natalia. Ooh. A splash into a flat.
Hi.
Hi. Is this like a little like baking dish or something?
Exactly. That's a dish. It's an oven dish. It's my actually first splash photography that I did.
Mm-hmm.
And I have another splash photography on Facebook that I placed today, but it's not as messy as this one came out, though it was messy behind the scene because it was red wine. Yes, but this one it was quite simple. It was a lot of fun. I used these two soft boxes as a lighting for the photo.
And let me ask you this: are those strobes or continuous light?
No, this is continuous light.
Okay.
And because and it was a dark room, it was shot in the middle of the night. So usually I use I have my ISO set at 100, but for this photo it went way up to 6,400, I think, because it was not enough light from the two soft boxes. I don't have I don't have a strobe. So
if you look at the distance between here and here, right?
This was not the right position. It was positioned right parallel to one to another. I moved a little bit when I took the shot to show you the setting.
Yeah, I would actually, I would have those soft boxes right up there.
All right, so it would be a little bit at an angle. It wouldn't be parallel to another soft box. It would be a little bit on
No, they could be parallel. I don't think that's gonna make any difference in this shot. It's such a tight shot.
Yeah. It was very parallel. It was parallel to one another. It was very close. It was close to the table, actually, because it splashed all over my soft box.
Right. You got to put some protection on your soft boxes, though.
Yeah. Okay. I will next time. It was
like plastic wrap or something. Stretch it and tape it. Keep your soft boxes clean. It's imperative you do that. But I would say that if this was your little dish, you could bring that soft box into there and that soft box into there.
So a little bit of an angle.
Close. It's just a little bit of an angle coming down so you could get a little bit over the dish.
All right.
That should probably give you about 3 more stops of light, combining the two in that close.
All right.
Maybe 3 more stops. So that could help you cut your you said your shutter speed was a 1200th?
No, it was 6,400.
No, your shutter speed.
My shutter speeds were 1/1000.
Yeah, so 1/1000 here, but your focus is, I mean, your depth of field is very shallow, so you're shooting at like f4.
It is 2.4, the depth of field.
2.4, okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I could not get more light if I
Nope.
went, higher.
Yep, that's the yeah.
And I wish I had, the left corner of the crown of the water, but it did not come out as I did not have enough room in the room. So I had to be pretty close to the subject.
Well, what I would want, if I was there with you, I would have said, go ahead and back up.
Yeah,
Because if
I
you
don't have
backed
room.
up 2 feet,
Yeah.
2 feet, you would gain enough depth of field to pull this into focus.
All right.
And then your picture is going to be out here, and you just crop it. Just crop it. Don't worry. Don't ever worry about cropping your images, folks. It's totally legit.
So you're saying if I was a little bit, if I backed up a little bit, I would have had all this in focus.
Not all of it, but more than what you have.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
The farther back you go, the more depth of field you get at any specific aperture. You certainly couldn't have turned your ISO up any higher. You were up about as high as you could go.
Well, it was on auto, so it picked up on its own. I didn't have to worry about to work on it. So it's picked on auto. Well, it's my first splash photography, so I'm pretty proud of myself. Though I know, comparing to other photographers that submitted their photos, how beautiful they were, and it was edited just a little bit in Lightroom because I'm very wobbly in Photoshop.
This image has got its own beauty to it, though. Okay, the fact that this is a little bit out of focus here does not make it a bad image at all. It's very, very nice image with this sharpness right through here. And the grain, I like grainy images. I'm a crazy person. I don't have any problem with grainy images. I used to shoot T-Max 3200. And if you know anything about 3200, the grain was so big you could polish chrome with the film. I mean, it was really chunky grain. So I don't have a problem with that at all. It has a nice feel to it.
Yeah, very artistic feel.
It does. It really does. Even your crop, your very tight crop, there's nothing really wrong with it. The only thing that's really wrong with the shot is it's not what you saw in your head.
Yes, exactly. I had a totally different, image of what I wanted to shoot.
Yeah, that's really the only thing, because when it popped up, I went, oh, I kind of like that. Now, what we have to do is to bring what you see in your head to the capture. That's what you work on. Okay, that's the technique. There you go. Good job.
It was very difficult because it was a continuous shooting, and it was very difficult to synchronize the pushing of the button and the dropping of the fruits.
Yep.
But it's it's a first shot. I'm sure the next one will be better. Thank you, Don.
Next one's easier, and the one after that you'll be getting more than you miss. It's just an eye-hand coordination thing that just takes a little bit of time to learn. Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully
Good
so.
job.
Thank you.
Yep.
Don. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, I'm Jennifer. This is my first time attending this meeting. Nice to meet you.
Thanks, meeting.
I'm loving this class. It has been really helpful. And sorry, I don't have my camera on because I don't have camera right now.
No
but
problem.
I would like to ask you a question. Because I've tried some action shots like this, but I've been using just one light. So I've been using the bright field setup. And now I've seen that in some photos you use like 3 or 2 lights, 2 flashes. And I would like to know, because I have 2 lights. I have a Flashpoint Explore 400 and a Flashpoint Flash. I don't remember the name, but it's like the regular flash.
Mhm.
It's a bit like from Flashpoint. And if I'm using 2 or 3 lights, which light freezes the motion? You know, that's my first question. And if you have to because if you have to have the same power in all 3 or 2 lights.
Well,
No,
what's going to matter is what's the longest duration. That's the one that's going to take precedent over the other one. So, for instance, your speed light at 1/32nd, let's say it's 12 thousandths of a second, and your other flash point at whatever power you have it on, like quarter power, is 1/800th of a second. So the slower duration, the longer duration, the 800th of a second will take precedent over the 1200th of a second. You will see the blur from the 800, the 1200 won't fix it. So what you would do in that situation is you say, okay, well, I'm going to make my flash, my tiniest duration flash, the fastest duration. I'll make it my main light and then use the other light for your fill light. So you can find your flash durations in the instructions and stuff that came with your flash. It should give you your flash durations at different powers.
Okay. Yeah,
Then
I know that the Flashpoint, that the Explore 400, it has like the best flash duration to freeze motion.
Uh-huh.
So that would be my main light. And
Okay.
the speed light would be my fill light.
That would be fine. Let me tell you, if you're using a big one, and that's a good light, the Explorer is a really good light. Just don't use it at full power. You'll get a better duration at half power, quarter, and less than you will at full.
Yeah.
Full is, it's that's going to be the longest.
Yeah, that's for high sync speed. It's when I use like full power. Just in those cases.
Yeah, well, on the high speed sync, because it's doing exactly what it's going to do. It's actually interfacing with your camera. It's actually firing the flash before the shutter opens.
Yeah.
And so that the full power of the flash is on the subject when the shutter opens at 1/1200th of a second. It's already there. So it's actually, that's why when you're doing the high speed syncs, you have to get the different flashes that are for your camera, right? You have to get like a speed light. You have to get like Godox makes one that has high speed, but you have to get the Nikon one. You can't put the Nikon one on the Canon one because they don't talk to the cameras as well. So
yeah,
very good.
And my last question is, if I'm shooting like with a bright field setup, my main light is the light that is behind the subject.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bright field would be, two dark cards and a bright thing here. Your glass, you're shooting this way. That's where all your power is.
Yeah, but if I'm using like 3 lights, like 1 light in each side, because I've seen that in some photos, people use like 3 lights, like 1 softbox on the right, 1 softbox on the left.
Well, but that's not bright. That's not bright field lighting.
Oh yeah, dark field. I think that's dark field.
Those are then used as fill cards. You can put white cards here and get great effect. But let's say for some reason you had to have the card out this far, okay? That's not reflecting enough. So you take a speed light over here and you bounce a speed light into that white card. You light this white card up so the bottle can see it. So you think of your other lights as being special for that main light.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Hey, Don, I have a quick question for that. This is Rainey. I just, I posted on the Facebook group about those newer flashes. So I got those. And then I did a setup that was like the one flash box behind, or one flash with the softbox behind the glass, and then one on the side to capture. And I just couldn't get the settings right. And that's because like the power, like, I don't know. I think that's similar to what you're talking about now.
Yeah. So what you do is you set up your glass here and you get the one to the back set up, right?
Okay.
So that's working. In other words, we can't fix two things. We can only fix one, right?
Mhm.
When you get this backlight working, so your glass looks great. Now you turn this one on, right?
Mhm.
And it has settings on the back. I think you go from 1/64th, right?
It starts at 10 and goes up to 64, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it starts
So,
at 10 and goes up. Yeah.
so you start there and you just do a flash and you move it up, 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 and you take your notebook out and say bright field lighting, side light at 15 inches at 7 or whatever you come up with, right? Then you start to work with it that way. But if you don't have a light meter, not using a meter, you're going to have to do some work up ahead, some research to find where that light is. My friend Dave takes his light every time he buys a new light. Takes his light, takes a tape measure and a wall. Takes a tape measure to 10 feet. Puts the flash on full power. I'm sorry, one half power at 10 feet, and he takes an exposure for here and he writes it down in his notebook. Because everything he needs to do with this light, he can do with the inverse square law. All he needs to know at 10 feet what that number is. Everything else can be done with the inverse square law.
Okay.
And because the light's going to be the same every time you push the shutter. Very
Okay,
good.
thank you. I think that it answers my question. Thank you.
Yeah, good. All right, is EJ here? EJ, are you here? All right, EJ. I love the color thing, man. The blue and the white, it's really, really pretty. I'm not sure how you did the shot. There we go. All right, so yeah, white, bright field light. Really clean. Looks like you just pour it in. Nice shot, EJ. 3 shots. 2 separate splashes and blue food coloring. Yeah. Wow, it's a pretty color. Good job, sir. Mildred. Oh, there's Mildred's behind the scene. Mildred, I don't know how come it got all the way back here, but there's your behind the scene.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
What light did you have behind it? Did you have a softbox back there?
No, actually, I had a 360, and it just had a reflector on it.
I would put it in a softbox next time. Yeah, put it in a softbox and shine it back through the cloth.
Yep, that's what's gonna happen.
Yep. That'll give you much more flat light.
Gotcha.
Asha.
Hey Don, how are you?
Hi. Wow, that's cool. Asha, is this a color shot that's monochrome or is this black and white? Did you?
No, it's a color shot.
Wow. Bright field lighting, I'm taking for granted.
Yes.
Yeah, so you've got a light right behind your scrim here.
I've got a flashlight. Yeah, I've got a 430 EX, I think.
And how many shots?
1.
1 shot?
Yeah.
Whoa. Dang. That's pretty cool. I love this little explosion happening down here. All this stuff happening up here. And your pour is wildly erratic, which is cool. It's kind of like it's like the end of the pour, right?
It's in between because the bottle's not there in the BTS, but I had pushed it back. But it didn't come in a flow. It just kept dropping rather than coming in a flow.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what
happened.
happened.
It's like the gulping the air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it just kept, it never came. Either it would just splash all over or it would just come in bits and pieces.
Very nice. Got a good horizon line down here. Very nice. The whole part of the glass, all the stem is above and visible. Dark area of the studio around it, giving us all the black that we needed to see to outline our drops, even delicate stuff like that. Very nice, Asha.
Thank you.
What 50 millimeter on a 70 on a 7D? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you.
Lawrence.
Hi, Dan.
Hi, Lawrence. How are you?
I'm okay. Yourself?
All right. So, which it says F10, but what lens was it? Do you remember?
I think I was 35 on a micro
Okay.
four third. Just before you said anything, I was not going to participate because I had a problem with my camera. So that's one of the last shots I took, and I was really testing pouring water in a glass in my kitchen, holding my camera in one hand and pouring the water with the other, and my camera stopped working. So one of the last photos I took was that one, and a very blurred picture of not exactly the BTS, but my kitchen window with a glass in front of it. So it's not exactly a splash photo, but I wanted to participate, so I decided to post it anyway.
Yeah, I like it. Let me tell you something. All of this down here
Yeah, I don't know what. I'm not
very
sure what happened.
confusing.
Yeah.
But I think that the interesting part is in here. I would crop this picture to about like that.
Okay.
That's your shot. The water coming in, all the bubbles going out, bursting out of the glass, and all of this activity in here is very cool.
Yeah, well, I was just testing on a slow shutter speed to see what it would look like. And I kind of like the smoky effect of the water, but I'm not sure what happened with the gray background. I really posted it just minute before the meeting started, and when I posted it, that bending happened. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, shooting against black with liquid is hard to do because what happens is we see our liquid in our mind's eye as having a white color to it or a bright color to it or a color to it at all. And when we shoot any kind of liquid against black dominates because it comes through the transparency of the liquid.
Yeah.
So in this particular case, you've got color in here. That's very nice. You've got great highlights on it. So that works pretty well. Then you get down here and all of this motion, this like crazy motion is very cool. Yeah. Yeah. I would play with your crop on this and I'll bet you come up with a pretty, I think the thing that hurts your shot is all this bright stuff down here.
I'm not sure what happened exactly with that, but yeah.
It's just the bottom of the glass. It's just getting a lot of light back in there and reflecting up. Yeah. So I mean, anywhere from even from here up kind of thing, it's a neat shape to the glass, and all that activity is pretty cool. Play with your crop tool and see what you come up with.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, Sophie.
Hello.
Sophie's been on hold so far. France is out of lockdown.
Yeah.
All right. What?
I'm not happy with that shot, but
what is the why are you not happy with it?
I think it's like what Carla was saying, because this is cheap cider, and so it doesn't do crazy overflowing. It does that foam thing, but mainly I started shooting at 5:30 and I uploaded my photo at 6:20, and the meeting in France starts at 6:30. So
okay.
That's why I can't be happy with my photo, is because I didn't give it the time it needed.
Yeah, and Sophie, I'm not crazy about the highlight up the front.
Yeah.
I do like the color that you're getting here, and I really like, it looks like it's sitting in the ocean. I really think that's cool. That's very cool. But this highlight, this sort of front strobe light.
Yeah.
And it's killing your it's killing your drops up here. We're not seeing them. But
so yeah.
Yeah,
Be
cool.
worked on again. But I knew that if I didn't post that photo today, I would miss the other classes. So that's
Oh, well, I'm
maybe
glad
why.
you did. I don't want you missing.
Yeah. So
Yeah. I would tell you to take this you're shooting with Snoot, right?
for that
Yeah.
highlight, yes.
I would just put that Snoot right over the top of this thing and see what you get with it. Right over the
Okay.
slightly back. Because
Yeah.
even if, let's say you're doing a bright field lighting here, right? So you got a
Yeah.
light back there.
There's a softbox behind. Yeah.
Right. I think a lot of photographers, all of us, we forget that just because we have a light back there doesn't mean we can't put a light in front of it. We can. We can take that Snoot. Let's say your exposure is f11 to give you a nice bright white background. It's f11. So you've got it at f11. Well, cut it back down to like f10. So just not quite as bright. And then take that Snoot and dial that Snoot up to like f12. And shoot at f12, and you get this sort of like, a little bit muted background with perfectly lit stuff here. So you can play with stuff like this all the time. One of my favorite things to do when I'm shooting people is to set up a 4x6 softbox and then put a 2x2 softbox in front of it. So this softbox might be giving me 5.6, and this little guy's giving me f8, and I'm shooting at f8. So what's happening with the softbox here? It's opening up shadows. So there's no shadow on my subject that's going to be darker than one stop, because I already set my my shadows at 5.6 because I'm using f8 as my main. So yeah, try that. So you got make that shot work.
Yeah, I will.
All right. Oh, here we go. Here's Lawrence's picture in the with the window. All right, well, that's cool. Make it, yeah, you're using the tools you have. That's fantastic. I like that.
It's just my camera died at that point, so.
Yeah. Ling.
Hello.
Take 200, huh?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I spent like 2 days doing this and I just finished this shot like a few hours ago.
Did you swirl the water before it came out of the glass?
I learned that I wanted to get some kind of swirl or effect instead of a straight stream. So I poured a container to get that kind of effect, but it was really hard trying to get it look really messy.
Well, it looks, is this multiple shots?
No, this is literally one shot. Like this is it. That's the I think the only thing that I did in post was I cropped it and then brought up the exposure and contrast just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the issue I was trying to figure out too was my background. I kept getting like a cross light in the background. I think it's because my light source in the back of the scrim was too narrow shape, so I kept getting these like white bright areas like in the middle or the side, and yeah. So I just need a bigger softbox, I guess. I don't know.
Well, how close was your softbox to the scrim?
I would say right now it's set up so it's about 1.5 feet.
Okay, back it up to 3 feet.
3 feet, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Because that should give you a wider coverage. Now it's not going to be as bright, right? So you probably have to turn it up one notch of power, but that'll give you wider coverage. If that doesn't work, move it to 5 feet. And if 5 feet doesn't work, then there's something else going on. Okay. But if you you should be able to get it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'm gonna. Okay, and then I think the other thing I might want to do is just brighten up the right side, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. I don't know.
No, I think the shot looks pretty good. This shadow over here, no, we can't have brightness without shadows. You know, light and darkness. Yeah, you've already set us up too. We've got darkness in the cap, we got a little darkness in the bottle. We got to have that shadow over there. If we take that out, I think it's going to feel. You could lighten it a little bit if you wanted. I mean, that's a decision you would make, but I think we've got to have that feeling of light coming from the left here. Because it's look at the cap, look at the bottle. See, you just have that feeling that light's coming from there. Oh, no, not behind the scenes.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to upload that. It's actually in the regular Facebook group.
Okay.
The only thing I did different for this shot that's different from behind the scenes was that someone had mentioned to remove the silver reflector on the right, so I did. And I changed, I flipped the cloth or the cover of the reflector to the black part. So I on the right and added a speed light kind of on the front to light up the label a little bit. That's the only thing different.
All right, nice. Oh, the label looks great. Looks really good. Carmen.
Yes.
Hi, Carmen.
Hi. Hello.
Carmen's been on so hold that Francis back under curfew. So it's all
Yeah,
right.
Sophie and I were talking to each other. She goes, "Did you upload your picture yet?" I said, "No, I'm in the middle of it." So we're both, yeah.
I really like your high key to this thing a lot. I like
Lost
how
the pour. I lost the pour.
I like how this sort of disappears here. I like how it disappears here. This is very cool, high value shot, and yet your color is just dramatically bright and brilliant. How did you do this?
It's 4 shots.
Okay.
I was outdoors for a little bit. I have a strobe. I have a 600 behind the scrim.
Okay.
And I have a 200 above coming down.
Okay.
And I used my phone in high speed mode, so I got like good splashes, and then I composited 2 splashes for the top,
Okay.
the glass, then the body of the glass, and then the floor. So it's four different shots. I didn't have a black card. It started to rain, so I kind of rushed through it.
So
and then I went through Nick Filters. Then I went into Nick Filters to kind of pump up the contrast and the colors.
Okay. So you shot this on your iPhone?
No. I shot it with my 6D Mark II.
Oh, okay.
With an 85 lens. But it was my remote control was my phone.
Oh, okay. Got it. Yeah.
So I had it like in high speed. So I just kind of sat my finger on the shutter.
Yeah.
As I did the pouring. You know, that was not fixed. That bottle, I picked that shot because that's where the bottle looked good.
Yeah. Well, all your color. Look at the design it does, you know, and all of this down here, this does not, this big empty space does not feel wrong. I think possibly because there's so much light. I think it's very cool.
Oh, thank you. I felt it needed, like I didn't get the splashes crisp enough, or I would have liked them not to be so blurry. I'm
wondering if maybe a couple of black cards on the side could have given more of an edge.
Yes.
Drops and the
yeah, I so I rushed. I mean, it had started to rain, so I didn't want to get my cards wet. You can see on the left, my sweater is covering my camera so it doesn't get wet.
And for those of you, this is Carmen's studio on a tiny little rustic street in Antibes, France. And she's got these giant windows all the way around this thing, right?
On 2 sides, the corner, there's a corner.
Great studio on the corner. I hope to get there someday.
There you go. Hey, we've got a tour planned for you and everybody else. Sophie's got all the good eating places that we can.
Excellent.
If we ever get out of confinement, we will go there.
Well, we will someday.
Yeah.
All right, folks. I will activate the next class for you momentarily so you can jump in there. I am so pleased that we have that many people. And we did 2.5 hour, we got a 2.5 hour video here. So believe me, you go back through this thing or any of the videos of these classes, you go back through them, you get an entire education in lighting. So, you know, they're up on YouTube. They're linked to the page. When you go to YouTube, bookmark it. It'll always be on YouTube, and you can always learn from it. Everybody have a great day. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time. Take care.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks, Don.
Bye.